Yep. Good morning, everyone. So last session we discussed about in JavaScript. We learned about. So let me give you the summary. Till now we learned about the basic introduction. So introduction to JavaScript, we learned what is JavaScript versions and all. Second, we discussed about how JavaScript integrating into HTML page because we are learning JavaScript client side. Next, we discussed about what are the integration techniques we learned. Integration inline, embedded, and external files. And one more point, we discussed about what is minification and all. So in this, we learned about inline technique. We learned about embedded technique. We learned about external files. So we learned about general minification concept. Minification means compressing the code and all. Next, we discussed about one more option is while working with integrations, we discussed what is strict mode. Am I right? We discussed what is strict mode, how we can target legacy browsers. These points also we discussed legacy browsers and how one more concept we discussed what is that strict mode legacy browsers. One more topic we learned in this MIME type important. MIME type means what is the MIME type of JavaScript we learned, right? These are the basic concepts we discussed. Up to now, we learned this. So after knowing this, one more important last session we finished this, how JavaScript reference. JavaScript HTML reference techniques, reference methods. Means how JavaScript can refer HTML elements in how many ways, what we can do. What are the reference methods? How JavaScript can refer or access HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy and by using name and by using ID and by using query selector. Query selector is CSS related, any query selectors we can use. These are all the reference methods we discussed in the last session. That means JavaScript can refer HTML elements by using DOM hierarchy, by using name, by using ID, and by using a query selector. Now, next important, today we will see how we have to handle or work with. We will discuss about JavaScript output techniques. What are the various JavaScript output techniques and how we can manage output and input actually. What is the concept about output? Output is nothing but, so it is the process of presenting data dynamically in HTML in browser. We can present in browser. So the process of presenting data dynamically in browser, in how many ways we can do that? Actually, to present data dynamically in browser, there are various techniques. JavaScript provides various techniques for that. So you can present output in JavaScript by using various techniques. So we have different types of options, like we have an alert, we have a confirm, we have a document dot write method, we have console methods, and we have inner HTML, and we have inner text, outer HTML, and we have inner text. These are all the basic output techniques. That means in JavaScript, if you want to display output in the browser, you want to show some result, then that is done by using these methods. We can use all these techniques for output. So the various output techniques available in JavaScript. What is the difference and when to use them? We will see one example. Actually, first one is we have alert. Alert is nothing but it is used to display output in a message box. It is used to display output in a message box. Actually, message box pops up in browser window. In browser window, message box will pop up. But one problem with this message box is it comprises of only OK. It comprises of only OK. That means you cannot cancel. You cannot cancel. Actually, using escape, ESC, escape key, or so using escape key, so you can cancel. You can cancel using escape key, but there is no option of cancel. Then even you use escape key, that is equivalent to OK. So if you are displaying some message where confirmation is compulsory, they have to click OK and continue. There is no chance of canceling it. They have to continue by OK. In that case, we can put an alert. We can display an alert. For example, suppose here we are writing. Let's go to the design here now. This is our HTML page, index.html. So in this HTML page, I will create a simple button. Here we are linking this. Here we are linking this JavaScript file index.js. So we have a button called delete. On delete click, I want some output to display. On delete click, we want to display some output. Then what we will do here is usually so to display output, when we want to display some output here, what we have to do here is we need to write an event. The event is on click. On click indicates what is the activity to perform when user clicks the button. I told you we will learn about events later, all different types of events. So here on click indicates, there are so many other techniques also we will see. On click indicates what should happen when delete clicked. We will write a function called delete click. We are writing the function delete click. And what should happen on delete click? What should happen on delete click? So we have to go to index, and here we need to write a function. Function name is delete click. So on delete click, we want to display some message. Then I'm using an alert. Alert is used for displaying messages. But how this alert will take is actually simple syntax is. So alert uses alert can display any message. You can display any message. Whatever message you want, you have to display the message. This message will be in a string format. In a string format, you need to display the message. If you want the message to display in multiple lines, this is single line. If you want to display in multiple lines, you can use alert and you can put a message. You can use /n. Then so here you can write line 2. You can display multiple lines. This is for displaying multiple lines. Multiple lines. If you want more than one line, then you have to define by using alert. Alert need to be defined with the /n if you want content to be in next line. So what I am doing here, I am writing alert. And what is the message? I am writing a title called delete. After that /n, that will put a line break. And we are displaying here as a record will be deleted. This message we want to show. Now, delete click have to perform this functionality. This is an output method. Alert is an output method. Through alert, we can display some message in the browser. Now, what is good and bad about this is alert, when it comes on screen, it will not allow the user to do any another work. So user have to confirm and continue. Sometimes what happens is you are filling a registration form. In the registration form, so many fields are there. And somewhere one field is going wrong. You are not noticing it. You are unable to find it. And you are clicking continuously, register, and it is not submitting. You have to scroll up and down and see where the problem is. Instead of that, if you pop up a message on screen, then you are forcing the user to see it. And you are forcing the user to notice it. And the forcing is in such a way that he can't do any another work until or unless he confirms. That means he cannot click anywhere else. He cannot select anything. He can't do any work until or unless he confirms. In such cases, better you use alerts. That means you want to show a forcible message on screen, which he must notice and continue. That means he cannot continue without noticing it. So he can't continue without accepting it. Then better you use alerts. So now what is that alert here? Is see now, let's run this page and see. I'm running this page index open here and you can see it shows here. I click on delete button. When I click on delete button, then it will show an alert delete. That is one line. /n will keep in next line. Because when you write anything in alert, it will be continuously in one line only. So automatically when it reaches border, then it comes down. Instead of that, you can put line breaks if any number of times you want. Now here, there is no close option here. In this box, there is no close. There is only one thing to do. Actually, close must be here. But there is no close at all. That means only one option is here, that is okay to confirm. And when it is opened, you can't click anywhere inside the browser and do anything else here. You have to confirm and continue. Now you press escape. When you press escape, escape is skipping. That means you are not confirming anything. So it doesn't mean that you cancel. It is not canceling. It is not canceling. It is just initialization. That means we say initial state. You press escape means it again went to the previous state. It is not canceling. It is initial state. That means delete is not cancelled. It is initial state. Initial state means before delete, what is there? It will display. This is actually done by using this alerts. Alerts are used for this purpose. So when to use alerts? When you want a mandatory message to display and you want user to continue only after confirming the message, then better you can go with what? Alerts. There is no alternative. Which class? So there is no other alternative for this. We don't have any alternative for this. We don't have an alternative for that. That means we have to continue only after confirmations. So for this is good. You can use alerts and you can manage using alert. So this is one example. Let me give this example. Index.js. Index.js is this one. And index.html. Index.html is this. We are keeping the content and displaying. Now here, one more important is, instead of alert, you can use another one. You can use confirm. Instead of alert, you can use a confirm. You can deal with confirm. What is confirm is, it is similar to alert, but allows to cancel. That means it's same like alert, but allows to cancel. That means it have a cancel option. Actually, it is a Boolean method that returns true when user clicks on OK, and it returns false when user clicks cancel. That means it will have an button OK and cancel. And OK means on true it will return OK, on false it will return cancel. So that means cancel will return false and OK will return true. So the result of this confirm is true or false. So that means now what you can do is, syntactically, you can write a confirm, and this confirm can have some message, same like alert. If you want, you can put a line break and you can add line 2. And this confirm is going to return true or false. Now, actually, we need to write logic for this, because the result of this will be true or false. That depends on which button they click. If they click OK, then it will return true. If it clicks cancel, then it will return false. Now you can see here, I am going to this index.js. In index.js, what we are doing here is, in index.js, we are changing this alert. And we are defining this into what? Confirm. We are changing the alert and we are doing it into confirm. That is what we are saying confirm here, confirm. Now, when you use confirm, so you can see here, means I will put a message. And this time, when I click on this delete, that means we are clicking on the delete here. When I click on this delete, what should happen on delete? When you click on this delete, this time it will show an alert, but it is having a cancel option also now. So alert is having only OK. Alert is having only OK. And this confirm will have both OK as well as cancel. But they are not functional as of now. They are not working because they don't work simply. You have to write logic for make them work. That means on OK, I want one message. On cancel, I want another message. Means we will put different tasks later. But here, how to know which one they clicked? Is it OK or is it cancel? This we need to verify. So in that case, generally what we have to do is to handle this situation, right? To understand, is it OK or cancel? We need to store the result of this message. That means the result of this confirm must be stored in order to handle. That you are going to learn how to store the result, because for that in programming languages we use variables. We are going to discuss about that in the next concept. So as of now, we will simply store this result in one reference called, suppose I am giving flag. Remember, flag is a variable, means it's a memory location. In that memory location, this confirm is working. So later, how to declare variables, what are variables, these are, we are going to learn about them. So all many topics are linked with each other, all in a sequence. Nobody can learn. Some here and there you need to touch these points to understand the concept. So as of now, just remember one point. Flag is a simple memory reference. In that memory reference, which one is working? Confirm. And what is the result of this confirm will be stored in this flag. As of now, just do that. And don't worry about the word flag, because you can use any word, X, Y, Z. Any word you can use. Programmers traditionally use the word flag to indicate that I will keep the result and use it for later. That means if anything you have to keep in the memory and use it later, and later that is used for making a confirmation whether to proceed or not, we use the word flags. That means we show a flag. So one flag for pass on, another flag for stop. The programmers use the traditional word actually. So it's not necessary. You can give any word, X, Y, Z, A, B, C, anything you can do. Now, what is present in flag? It contains true or false. Then we write logic like this. If flag is equal to, double equal is comparison. If it is equal to what? True. That means they clicked OK. Then what should happen? I will put an alert saying that record deleted. This message should come. Because they clicked OK, record deleted. Otherwise, what should happen? Else we will put a alert. In that alert, we will say, so you canceled. This message will come, because on OK, it will return true, and on cancel, it will return false. So if user clicks OK in a confirm box, it will execute this message, record deleted. If user clicks cancel, that means it is not true. If it is not true, it will execute else. Else it says you canceled. This message it is going to display. Now I will save this here. And when I run this, I click on the delete. On delete, it is showing delete, record will be deleted. Record will be deleted, OK or cancel. OK or cancel. And I click on OK. Now, when I click on OK, it shows one message. It shows a message, record deleted. And I click on cancel. I click on cancel, it says you cancel. That means for OK one work we mentioned, and for cancel another work we mentioned. That is managed with confirms. This is not possible in case of alerts. Alerts cannot allow to cancel, and alerts cannot have another work for cancel. So if you want a decision making and whether to proceed or not, you need to confirm that. Then you can better go with what? Confirm. Confirm is going to return true or false. And when it will return true, on OK. When it will return false, on cancel. So usually what we do, we write conditions. We will verify is it true or false. Then based on that, we divide the statements to work. On true, what statement, and on false, what statement. This is confirm. So one is alert, another one is confirm. So here also same example, index.js, I will copy this one. In index.js, this is the message, and index.html is same, no change. In that functionality will be similar. There is no change in index.html. So you have two techniques for displaying output. One is alert, another one is an confirm option. So what is difference between alert and confirm? Alert will not allow to cancel. Confirm will allow to cancel. But you cannot have an task to perform on cancel until or unless you write logic for that. That means don't think that simply cancel button will cancel. So anything will not work implicitly. You have to write logic for that. So you need to capture the result returned by confirm. And based on that, you need to define the actions. So this is a simple example of that. So you have two things. One is alert, another one is confirm. Another option is in the JavaScript, another output technique is document.write. Document.write, actually, this document.write, it is an output method. So which can display output on a new screen, which can display output on a new screen. Remember, it is on same page. It is on same page, but a new screen. It is not a new page, because sometimes people are confused about this, and sometimes people will define that output will come on new page. Output will not come on new page. There is no new page. It is new screen. Page is same, but it is a complete empty new screen. So that means, for example, so here I am going to index, and if record is deleted, I want to display the message in a separate screen. Then instead of using this, actually syntactically you can write like this: document.write, and here we can put a message. Here very important point is this document.write will allow markup also. Document.write will allow markup. So important is markup is not allowed for alert and confirm. Alert and confirm, it is not allowed. It is only for document write, markup is allowed. Markup means what? You can make the presentation output in a more effective way with whatever HTML elements you have. You can present an HTML element, but which is not possible in alert and confirm. For example, so here what we are doing, In alert, I want to display this record deleted in bold. Then I am using markup here, B. In B, I am writing record deleted. So, and when we run this here, delete, you see delete record, record will be deleted, okay or cancel. I click on okay, then it is not showing in bold. It will not allow any markup. Whatever you write, it is plain text. It will not allow any markup, no formats, nothing. Many times people ask this question like, can I change the button? Can I change the color of this? Can I change this, right? Title. These all you cannot change until or unless you customize your browser. That means, remember, this dialog box came from a browser window, and that completely depends on browser settings. That means you can't control this color. You can't control its buttons. You can't control its appearance. If you see such things, those are not actually alert and confirm. Such pop-ups are designed using Bootstrap. If you have any knowledge on Bootstrap, CSS, HTML, Bootstrap, in Bootstrap, we create such alerts. That means every alert that you see, every confirm that you see is not belonging to JavaScript. Many alerts and confirms we design by using Bootstrap. Manually, we create the alerts using Bootstrap, and using them we do. I hope you know Bootstrap. If you have awareness on Bootstrap, Bootstrap is very much used in the front-end development everywhere. And with JavaScript, we use a lot of Bootstrap for creating such our own pop-ups, right? It is very popular in designing such things. So here, what is the point is, it is not going to alert and confirm, not going to allow any markup, but document.write will allow markup. Then in that case here, so here very important, no/n, understood? No/n for line break. So then which one you have to use? No/n for line break. For you have to use markup for line break, and markup line break means BR. You know, HTML have BR as a line break. You have to use BR for line breaks. For example, see now, that means syntax, how it works. When they click on alert true, instead of alert, I'm using the method document.write. I'm using document.write. In document.write, I'm using bold. So now you can see document.write, what it will do, delete. I click on cancel, then it says you canceled, it stays there. But when I click on OK, that means record deleted. It will show in bold. You can add all the markup. That means you can say bold. So you can put italic. So, or you can put a color. So font you can write. And in the font, you know, font have a color. So color is equal to what? Red. And you can see here, delete. And I click OK. Then it is going to display that. All the markup that you can configure and define. Now, lot of other string related points are there you are going to learn. But initially, this is one simple concept to understand. What is it? How you can define, how you can configure and define document.write. So this is an example for that. Document.write. So index.js. In index.js, a small change we have done. Instead of alert, we are using document.write. In both cases, we can write our wish, right? This is index.js. And index.html, no change. Index.html is same. There is no change in index.html. So that is how you can define the alerts, how we can configure and define the alert. So what are the output options we are having? So we have an alert and we have a confirm. And in document, you have a write. Actually, so you also have so many other methods which you will later learn, because for that some more consequences we need to understand. In interviews, what questions are asked on this, I will tell you once we finish the concept, right? What are the regular things that will come here? Generally, 3 output techniques you have learned: alert, confirm, and document.write, right? But I don't want output. Remember, this is not new page. This is same page. You see the page is index only. Just output in a new screen. So you see here, I'm keeping the markup. So I can try like this. So what we can define here is, we can configure like this. See, in the next line, I'm adding BR. BR will put a line break. I'm adding an anchor. So close the anchor. I will say back. And in the back href, I will give index.html. That means now what happens? I click on delete. I say OK, that is deleted, and there is a back. I click on back, then it gets back to this page again. So we can add any kind of markup into the. That is usually done by using document.write, right? So this is 3 important options, but sometimes we don't want the output. So when user clicks on delete, we don't want the output on a new screen. Generally, when you take to new screen, what happens is the data will be lost, which is present on current screen. Suppose user is filling a registration form. When user is filling a registration form, then what happens in registration form? He filled a lot of details and one field have problem, and that you are showing on new screen, right? When he clicks back, what will happen? Again, page will load, all the values he entered will reset. That means they will be cleaned up. All the values, whatever entered are cleaned up. They will reset. They will reset. In that case, this is not good idea. So we cannot display in a new screen. Instead of that, what we do is we can display in the same screen. That means user entered username wrong. Just below username itself, you will display message that it is wrong. That means we will not take to a new screen. We can display on the same screen. Then how you can manage that? How you can display in the same screen? How you can display that? What you can do is, for that you can use the option like inner text. What inner text can do is, it can display output. It can display output. It can display output. So in any container, of HTML page, in any container of HTML page, so which can display, which can show text, which can show message. You can say text. That means any container. Tell me what containers can show text. What containers can show text? 1 second. Tell me what containers can show text. Containers in HTML, containers. HTML containers means it includes like div, like span, right? These are all containers, like paragraph, like data definition, like data terms. These are all containers which can display text. So many, several hundreds of containers are there which can display text. So that means you can display in a list item, you can display in a header, you can display even in a body also directly. right? That means there are containers. You need to first choose a container. It can be heading, paragraphs, anything, right? That means how we can manage that. Let's see. Means inner text can display, but what is problem with inner text is it will not allow formats for text. So that means it is only for plain text content, not any rich formats of text. That means it will not allow any formats. That means you want to display text with red color, green color, blue color, or you want in bold, italic, it will not display. It is only plain text. No formats are allowed for this text. No formats are allowed. So here what to do is, first thing, where you want to display error message, where you want to display the message. I want to display the message here under this delete button. So then under the delete button, where? That means you go into index, under the delete button, you need to put some container. I will put a container paragraph. In this paragraph, I want to display. Then how you access this paragraph? Already we learned how HTML can access this paragraph. We can use an ID reference. You can use a name reference. You can use queries, class, query selectors. You can use any reference by using query selector. Already we learned JavaScript methods. What are JavaScript methods? You can refer by DOM hierarchy. You can refer by using ID. You can refer by using name. You can refer by using query selector. Query selector means type selector, class selector, ID selector, any descendant selectors it can use. So you can access anyway. You want, you can keep an ID. If there is only one paragraph, you don't need any IDs or any names. What you can do, you can simply define that. We can simply configure and define that. How we can manage that? So we will see here. So how do we manage that and how do we handle that? You see, we will remove this document.write now. We are removing this document.write. We are removing the document.write. Instead of document.write, clean up this. Okay. Now, if they say true, the message must be displayed in the paragraph itself. Then how to access the paragraph? To access the paragraph, we have to use document dot what? Get element by ID, name and all, but it is not having ID. Then what we can do, we can access query selector. Query selector allows all CSS selectors. You can use type selector, P, refers to paragraph. But this will be a problem if there are many paragraphs. So one paragraph, as of now, it's okay, fine. If there are many paragraphs, always prefer IDs or refer names. Now inside this paragraph, we want to display. Then we have to use dot inner text. Dot inner text. And what is the message? Message is record deleted. Record deleted. So successfully. This message should come. Record deleted successfully message should come. Now I click on delete and I say okay. Then it shows the message here only. That means it is not going to any new screen and displaying the output. Output is displayed in the same screen. That you can do by using this technique. So this is inner text. What is problem in this? It is not good for formats and all. It will not allow formats. That means, for example, I keep this in bold. I am keeping in bold. And when I click on delete and say okay, it's not allowing that. That means it is used for presenting only plain text. That means what is the point about here? Plain text. That means so no markup not allowed. Markup not allowed. not allowed for output. So for output, markup is not allowed. It is only plain text. So whatever you want to display, you can display here, just but by using only plain text. So that is what actually in the text. So we are using document dot, we are using query selector. In the query selector, we want to display some details. Any element, ID, name, or any name, any reference, right? You have to write any reference. And in that reference, we have to put inner text. So we can display some text and we can present some text. This is the message you want to display here. You can do it. And there can be multiple. For example, see, suppose inside index. So here I will keep another heading under that paragraph. This is heading 2. Now what I will do here, so in heading 2, I will put another message. So document dot query selector heading 2 dot inner text. Inside that, what we want to display as delete confirm. Delete confirm. That is the message. And we are saying record deleted successfully. Record deleted successfully. Delete confirmed and record deleted successfully. This is the message we are showing. One message in one element, another message in another element, anything. That means now you can see here, I am clicking delete and say okay, then it says delete confirm. So record deleted successfully. So two elements are displaying two different messages that you can manage, and handle by using this technique. So what is inner text? Inner text is used to display the output on the same screen. It is used to display output on the same screen. Same screen, but in specific location. You have to tell where the location. Is it a paragraph? Is it a span or a div? Or is it a heading anywhere? And another problem is you can't apply formats. This is only for plain text. Only for plain text you can use this. That is basically done. This is example for the index.js. Let me copy this index.js and index.html, no change. It is having the same concept. Index.html is same. Now another option, instead of using inner text, you can use another technique. You can use inner HTML. Inner HTML is similar. It is similar to inner text, but allows formats with markup. With markup you can allow. With markup or functions you can use. Functions later you will learn. That means you can apply the formats on text. It is not plain text with some formats. Formats means what we will do here. So here simply, because inner text is not allowing. Suppose for delete confirmed, for this we will put a font, and in the font we will keep this delete confirmed, and for the font color we are giving red as of now. Similarly, record deleted successfully. Here what we are writing, so we are writing italic and deleted successfully. This is also to be displayed in red color. Then I am using font and the message, and we will define font color. Color is equal to red. Now that is the option here we are defining. Now let's check this and see. I click on delete and I said okay, but you see currently you are still using inner text. Then those formats are not allowed. Right now we have to just change this inner text to what? Inner HTML. I am using inner HTML instead of using inner text, inner HTML. and inner HTML allows. I say okay, then it is going to display that. So what is inner text and what is inner HTML? Inner text will not allow any formats. Inner HTML can allow the formats, right? So this is another example for the same concept. We can use inner HTML. So syntactically same. So document dot query selector, and we use a reference and dot inner HTML, and whatever message you want, you can define markup, or you can put message, anything you want, you can define there. So index.js, this is the code, and index.html, this is the code. Index.html is never changing as of now, but one extra is heading and paragraph we added, right? So this is another option, inner HTML. So the output can be in so many ways, depending on situation requirement. So there is no question like which one is best. Nobody can ask like which one is best, because the best is decided by the developer according to that particular requirements where they want to show, right? They want to show on a new screen, document.write. They want to display in the same screen, then they have to use these techniques, inner text HTML. Without formats, inner text. With formats, inner HTML. But make sure that that element supports so text to display, because sometimes you are using an element like a text box. In a text box, I want to show message. You cannot use inner HTML inner text, because text box don't have inner text or inner HTML. In text box, if you want to show anything, then what? In a text box, if you want to show some message, this message you want to show in a text box, then you cannot use inner HTML or inner text. Text box, inside text box. That means my question here is, there is not heading or anything, there is input type text. Now the message must be displayed inside the text box. We can use placeholder. Okay, we can use placeholder, but text box value, there is a value attribute. Text box have a value attribute now. That means what are the attributes for text box in HTML? Text box can have ID, name, class, value, placeholders, min length, max length, required. So many are there. You can use that. But to display value inside text box, we have to use an attribute called value. Now tell me how to access this text box. It is not having any ID. How to access the text box? It is not having any ID, or it is not having any name. If you say input, there will be so many inputs. Suppose there is another input called button. If there is another input called button, it will work for that button also. Now I am asking how to access this text box in the code. The text box is not having an ID. If it is having an ID, we will use get element by ID. It is not having name, ID, classes, or anything. Then how do you access? This tells your knowledge of CSS. How do you access in CSS? Tell me this text box. I want to apply some color for this text box in CSS. How do you access this? Generally in CSS, you have attribute selectors. In CSS, you have attribute selectors. Suppose I want to apply some style for this text box. Generally, how we use attribute selector? We write like this. How do we write? Input input. I hope you know, in a square brace, we write type is equal to text. Do you know? This is called attribute selector. In CSS, we refer like this. So these are attribute selectors. That's what I told you, that we need different selectors knowledge. In CSS, more than 5-7 categories of selectors are there. I given a list, or if you are aware of CSS, you already know that. Primary selectors, pseudo selectors, dynamic pseudo classes, so many. Rational selectors, right? Attribute selectors, universal, so many are there. So by using those selectors, we can manage. That means now tell me how to access this. So we have to write like this: document dot query selector. In that we can use here selector. What is it? Input in the square brace, type is equal to text. That's how we use. Now what happens if it is matching? Now access that dot. It is a text box. Na? In a text box, we have to apply value. Value is equal to, suppose, record or say delete confirmed. Delete confirmed. That message we are writing. Now observe here, I click on delete. I say OK. Then delete confirmed will be inside that as value. We can put as value, or we can even put as placeholder. Am I right? You know, placeholder is also a property of text box holder, right? Placeholder. We can use this. Placeholder means when I click delete and say OK, placeholder will be like this. Not value. Value is different. Placeholder is different. Right? You can display as value or placeholder. You can display anywhere you want. But for that, you need to use this mechanism. So this is one important thing to understand. So this is inner HTML. So this is an example here. So this is another example. I will just put this example and index.js. And index.html, we are using a text box here. In the text box, we want to display the message. And now tell me, can I display formats in text box? Can I display formats in text box? Bold, italic, colors? Not possible. Text box will not allow formats, you know. Text box is an RC data type element. Text box is an RC data type element and it will not allow formats. It will not allow formats. So you need to apply some styles. By using styles, you need to configure. So text box also, it is same like inner text only. It will not allow. Suppose I try to write here. I try to write here bold, delete confirmed. Then text box value is also same. You can see, okay, it is not bold. It is just like inner text only. Even you are using that value, it is in. Can I use inner HTML for this? For text box, I am using inner HTML. For text box, I am using inner HTML. I click OK and you can see it's not working because text box don't have inner HTML. Text box have value. That means you need to know your HTML very strong. So JavaScript is very important, but you can handle this only with good knowledge of HTML. You must be 100% strong in HTML. Then you can handle in different, because you should know consequences first. You should know what your HTML allows. You should know what your HTML have. Then on that JavaScript works, right? So you cannot use inner HTML. You have to use what? Value or placeholder like that you have to define. So you can display output by using inner text or by using inner HTML. But here one problem is there in inner HTML. The problem is nothing but when you are using inner HTML, lot of layout issues will come. additional DOM issues will come. For example, see, suppose I have a paragraph or I kept a div. I kept a div or just put a paragraph first for your understanding. In this paragraph, I want to display. In that paragraph, if I want to display message, then what to write here? Document dot what? Query selector what? Paragraph dot inner HTML. In that I am presenting here inside it, I am presenting a heading. Inside paragraph, I am presenting a heading. Inside the paragraph, I am presenting an heading. Now inside paragraph, when we are typing heading, now what should happen here? Now in this heading, we will display delete confirmed, confirm like this. Yeah, confirm. Now what happens is this heading is added in this paragraph. That heading is added in that paragraph. You put a heading in a paragraph, that heading will add into paragraph. Now the problem is paragraph already have line break above below. You add a heading again inside it, heading also have a line break above below. That means it is going to disturb the layout. That means now our concept is not to add heading in paragraph, to remove paragraph and put heading there. That means we want to replace that paragraph and put heading. Because we don't want a heading in a paragraph, because already either heading or paragraph, any one. I want to replace the paragraph with this heading. Then you can go with a concept called outer HTML. Outer HTML. Actually, here we are using inner HTML. Inner HTML, I will show you what will happen. Let's go. Right click in the page, go to inspect. In the inspect, you can go to here, you can go to elements. In the elements, you can see in the body. In the body, currently there is a paragraph here. So button, under the button, paragraph is present. Now I click on delete and I say okay. Inside the paragraph, heading is added. You can see inside paragraph, heading is added. You can see the design here. You can see left side. Already paragraph is having a line break above and below. And this heading is also having a line break above and below. Lot of space is there. We don't want like that. We want this heading to remove that paragraph. Either heading or paragraph. Then what you can do is, instead of inner HTML, you can change this to what? Outer HTML. Outer HTML. Now you can see, now there is paragraph here. And I click on delete and I say, okay, paragraph is removed and heading is added. That means there is no paragraph now. Paragraph is deleted, you can see. Only heading is there. Previously, what happens inside paragraph, heading will come. But it will replace now. That is good, because especially when you are dealing with this kind of situations. So because layout disturbance will happen. Because your message should not disturb the layout. Your message should be in existing layout. So that means remove that area and put this area. Don't add this area to existing. That also required in some occasions. That means in some occasions, we have to add the new area into existing area. But in some occasions, we need to add only this. So removing existing, then what you can do, we can use another technique. What is that? Outer HTML. So you can use outer HTML, outer HTML, outer HTML. What is the concept of outer HTML? Outer HTML is nothing but, so it can replace the target markup with the specified. with the specified. So it can replace the target markup with the specified. That's what outer HTML can do. So just syntactically, suppose here we are using document dot query selector. This is target element. Into the target element, we have to use outer HTML is equal to new element. We have to define like this. New element. That's how it is going to do. That means add this new element into the target element. So it is not adding, it is what? Replacing. If you use inner HTML, what it will happen? Inner HTML is going to add into that. That's what basically it will perform these two things. So we have, what are the options we are having? We have, these are all basic output techniques. Remember, some more are there, but those you have to learn after understanding few points. So because some more topics you need to learn related to language, then some other output techniques you can learn. But these are all basic output methods how we want to handle. So in JavaScript, if you want to display output, and output is displayed in so many ways. What are the various techniques? We have alert, document write, confirm, inner HTML, outer HTML, and inner text. There is another one, console. Console is not for general people, means it's not for general output. This is example I will give, index.js. Actually, I will copy this here. Yeah. Console is not for general clients. Console is for developers. Actually, developers, when they are doing lot of testing, when they are writing lot of logic, which is not for production, only for development, then lot of notice, details, everything they will put in a console. Actually, developers use this technique. I think you already know, and I hope you are aware already. I showed you one example. In real world project development, entire project development happens on 4 servers. You know, sandbox, development, quality, production. In real time project development, the software development actually happens in, entire software development process will happen in 4 servers actually. The development process happens in 4 servers. We will have 4 servers. The first server is actually sandbox server. It is a sandbox server, or we call golden server. In this server, it contains all the repository. Repository means all the library. Whatever library is required for building a project, it is kept inside this sandbox. And we will have a development server. We will have a quality server. And we will have a production server. We have a production server. Entire software development usually happens in these 4. Now, actually, our client is ready to use this software that you have developed. That means client is given access to production server. Client will be using the application from production. But we don't build application in production. Generally, what we do, we build the application in development server. Application is built in the development server. From the development server, we will move this application to the quality server. That means we bring the library from where? We bring the library from repository and golden server and build app here. After building application, we will move this application to quality. And in quality, testing happens. After testing finished, everything is fine. Then it is moved to production. Production means it is going live. And very important, every software developer knows that application will not be in the same way in every server. It is not same way in the every server. When it is in development server, we will put some settings. Those settings will change when it goes to quality, because there we need to test it. According to testing environment settings, we have to change. Several concepts we need to change for testing environment. After testing is finished, then when it goes to production, several things we will change. Already we know some point. I told you minification. What developer will do here? He will use index.js file. But I hope you people know, when this application goes to production, here, when it goes to production, he cannot use that index.js because it occupies more space. Here he will use index.min. Min.js, that is minified JavaScript file. He will use this. That means this index.js is for development and index.min.js is for production. That means remember, logic will be same. Concept and functionality will be same, but the configuration will change according to the requirements. Path will change, some references will change. This is important. Why we are talking about all this? Because when developer is developing an application, to tell other developers about what is happening in his application, he have to keep some note details. Those note and details are not required for general clients. Then what we do is we display those note and details in a console. Console is nothing but it is a developer tool. Console is a developer tool. What you can do is developer can test all his logic in console. All his logic in console. And developer can log information in console with various you can say contextual messages. Contextual messages means what? Developer can log information with various contextual messages. Contextual means what? Warning. Contextual means what? Success. Contextual means what? Error. Contextual means debug. So contextual means info means information. That means logging the messages in different ways. That's what we can do. So actually, when you are displaying, this is not for general people, because general people will not go to console. Console is only for developers. And very important is make sure that console is not in production. That means console methods are not in production. Make sure that they are not in production. You should remove them. You cannot keep those methods there. So generally, later you will learn other concepts also. Generally, you people know developers use a concept to find out the issues in code. They call it as exception handling, Exception handling. We use exception handling to identify errors. Errors means runtime problems. Runtime, any issues are coming. Those exceptions we will use. And remember, in real time, when it goes live, those exceptions should not come to general people. That means what we will do here. So what we will do is, suppose if a value is not provided, understood? If a value is not provided, then what is developer's point of understanding? The developer point of understanding means if value is not provided, you say that null exception. We will say null exception. That means a value is required, but he is not providing. A value is not provided and a null exception comes. That is exception message. We are showing null exception. You show this null exception to general internet users. What he will understand? What does he knows about null word at all? That is a developer's term. Developers terminology is not understandable to general people. They don't know anything. People who don't know about internet, they use internet. Remember that point in your mind every time. You are developing applications for completely people who are illiterate about internet. They don't even know what is internet, but they know YouTube, right? They know different websites. They don't even know how it works. They don't even need to know. That means you are dealing with such kind of people. Then your messages must be in such a way that they are understandable to them. So not for developer. Developer understandable messages are different. This is okay. But when it goes to live, if you show null exception, that is not good. Even today, some websites you will see that. But that is not good. That means some websites you see like movie ticket booking sites, train ticket, bus ticket booking sites. Some websites they show a error message on screen. That is actually developer's error code. They show if tickets are full or seats are not available, some problem came, they show exception. That is not good. So we don't recommend such messages. Then what we will do, we will put a message cleanly saying that for normal people, what is the message? For normal people, what we will say, please provide a value. Or we will say name is required. Am I right? We will not say null exception. For developer, it is null exception. Null exception. So developers will use these kind of logs in testing, in building, in debugging and all. Those logs are okay, but finally they should not be there. In final output, in final rendering and final production, these messages should not be there. You can use them in your development just to tell other developers what is happening, how it is working. You see, this is browser. Every browser have a tool called console. You see, there is a developer tool called console. When you go to console, in this console, you can write all the functionalities. Suppose I want to check how confirm works. Then I can write confirm, delete. I am writing and hit enter. It will show how it works. You don't need any programming pages or anything. You can do all your JavaScript here. That means you don't need any kind of software. You don't need any kind of software. You just open browser, go to console, and here you can do your JavaScript. Right? So here it is, see, I'm using confirm. Again, I'm using confirm, delete. I said cancel, then it says false. And again confirm and enter. I say okay, it says true. I told you that it will return true or false. If I haven't told you, how you will know? If I haven't told you, how you will know? And you see, observe here, I am using alert. So welcome. And I say enter. I'm using escape. Escape means undefined. And observe carefully here, I'm using okay. Okay also undefined. Both are same. I told you now escape is equal to okay. Okay or escape, both are returning same. A developer knows that it is returning undefined. Based on that, he will write a logic. It is returning both same. Right? How I told you that it is returning, it will return same. Escape is same. This is same because we know the consoles. As developers, we monitor consoles. We will see what results they return. Right? Once you are aware of that, you know what anything is returning. Right? That is basically done by using these techniques. And in this console, we log messages. In so many ways we do. How we do is, see, suppose I am just showing you when delete is clicked, let's put some messages. When delete is clicked, I am this delete button is clicked. Okay. So see what happened. When delete is clicked, I will put a message console.log. In that, I will put a message that delete button clicked. This is log message. So I will do one thing. When user clicks true, means I will put a warning. That means console.log. I will put a console.warn. This is warning. I will use a warning. Warning is nothing but so OK button clicked. OK button clicked. So record will delete. Like this, we are displaying some message. And else we will display some other message. Else, that means here we will say console.error. In that error, so cancel clicked. Like this, we will display different messages. And observe carefully now, these are console related contextual. Warn means warning, error means error styles. They are error styles. You see now, I click on delete and you see first message came there, delete clicked, I click OK. Then you see first is delete button clicked. After that, it showed a warning style. Log is a normal style. There is no icon for that. But here it shows a warning style. Okay, I will do delete again log. I click cancel. Cancel is a error style. You cancelled. Okay, error style will come. Warning styles, error styles, these are not required for general people. They don't even understand. This is all required for developers. So developers need this output method to just console and just understand what is the problem, what is the issue, right? For that, we use all these console methods. These are console methods. So actually we write like this. That means syntactically we define like this. So console.log, console.debug, console.info, console.error, console.warn, like this. And remember, so every browser don't have icons, but warning error icons everybody will show you. But info, debug like icons, some browsers can show. Some browsers can clearly show. Info means I symbol will come. You might have seen a lot of dialog boxes. On internet while using, you might have seen a lot of dialog boxes. In a dialog box, it will show in a circle I, am I right? And it says information, some information it is providing. So such icons will come, but depends on browser. So if browser is not having those icons, log, info, debug all look similar. But if some browsers support icons, those icons will come, right? It's not necessary that everybody have to display the icon depending on that. This is example for this point. So this is an example, that is index.what.js. That is, these are all, what are the techniques? These are all the techniques for handling what? These are the techniques for handling output. That means in how many ways we can show output on screen. Now the question, in how many ways you can collect input from a user? How user can provide a value, how JavaScript takes input and it manages the values, right? That we'll see in next session. Tomorrow we will do that. These all important, you need to practice first, all these methods. Examples I am posting into Classroom. If anybody is not having the Classroom, you can make a note. This is a Google Classroom code. So you can join into this Google Classroom. So here I will upload the previous class videos also. If anybody missed out, they can go into these videos and check the previous videos. Okay, this is the Google class code. This is the Google class code. Right, so this is the Google class code. We have session tomorrow. There is no off on Holi and all, right? We will have a session, right? Right, that is the Google class code. You can get it. Okay, all the note I will upload there. Okay, then tomorrow we'll continue. Tomorrow we will discuss about input, JavaScript input, how to handle. Okay, right.